I made all of this gear in a weekend, and it actually wasn't that hard. Making my own gear is part of my quest to hike the Appalachian Trail on the lowest possible budget. So this video is not going to be a comprehensive guide. I'll point you to the guides that I used that were really good and showed me how to do all of this. I just want to show you kind of how the process is and take away a little bit of that fear factor of making your own gear, because I found surprisingly it wasn't that difficult. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but you've put in the effort, the rewards are well worth it. So I'm making a ultralight quilt right here, and this is actually super simple. You just sew together the front of the quilt along with the back of the quilt, and then the stuffing inside, which is a Climashield Apex, which is a material that doesn't even require baffle. So unlike down bags where you have to like sew in your baffles to keep the downs there, this one you don't even have to sew baffle. So all you have to do is sew around the entire quilt, just like one seam around there, and then your quilt is done. All the fabric you're seeing me use was provided by Ripstop by the Roll. Really, they're like the one-stop shop for make your own gear and DIY gear. And this quilt is made with 0.66 membrane 10 taffeta nylon. It's a fabric that was developed by Ripstop by the Roll. Super lightweight fabric, great for making quilts. So go follow Ripstop by the Roll. They have tips, tricks, and more DIY content, and you can get $5 off your purchase of $25 or more. Good for the first 100 people that use it with the code QUADZILLA. Seriously, you can get everything you need on that site. Like, I will link what I did here. This is their front country quilt kit. And with this setup, it was about $110, but you can get a setup for like $61 to build an ultralight quilt like this. And the cool thing about sewing is you can screw up like a lot and it's not a big deal. You can see my corners here. I did a terrible job, but it ended up meaning like I kind of saved some weight. So just any batting that I didn't get sewn down, I can just cut it off. And that's the cool thing about sewing, is you don't have to be super precise. You can make mistakes and it doesn't ruin the project. So now thinking, close up the foot box just by folding it like this. So fold this one in third, fold this other one in a third, and just sew right along here to have a closed foot box. Quilt is done. Got my foot box all sewn. And then it's cold. Take these tabs, close it around my head. Yeah, I can sleep like this. The filling is 5-ounce Climashield, so it should be good down to about 30-35 degrees. Okay, so I used this to get rid of the box's weight. So this is what this actually weighs. So 1 pound, 5.6 ounces. The whole quilt. That's pretty good. Next, I tackled making an Alpha Direct hoodie, which was a much more complicated project, and I'm really glad I had the help of my mom there, who she is an experienced sewer, so she was able to read the patterns, and I think that's a big learning curve, is like reading the instructions and knowing what like right side in means. And like I'm not going to go into it in this video, that would just be too long of a video. I just want to give you a general sense of how it is created. So you can either print out the pattern yourself or you can get it on Ripstop by the Roll. So this is from Ripstop. They send you just one big piece in a pattern, and then you lay that over the Alpha Direct and cut all the pieces. Well, making progress. Just read the instructions carefully, watch the videos that I will link below. It's really not that bad, and if you screw up, nothing bad happens. So really cool, Ripstop can print on both Direct Alpha and Dyneema, so you can have your own custom picture. I should have put a cat on there. I regret that, but this is a picture I took on the PCT, I think it's Mount Hood from Timberline Lodge, and it's on my hoodie, so that makes it pretty cool and pretty unique. I do recommend making it a little bit bigger. I made a large and it's a little bit too small for me. Next, I tackled the Dyneema Fannypack. This one is custom printed again with little tacos on there. I'm using the Everyday Fanny Pack from learnmyog.com, which he gives away for free, but throw him a couple bucks when you download the pattern. It's well worth it. This was the hardest thing to make out of all of these. Trying to work with that Dyneema and sew around the corners was really challenging, and I screwed it up. But again, you know, it's a little bit lopsided, a little bit lumpy, but it still works as a fanny pack. So now, sew it all together, turn it inside out, or turn it, and it should look way better. This took me like 4.5 hours of continuous work, but I'm pretty happy with the product. I don't know if this is worth making on your own, because you can get a fanny pack for like 40-50 bucks, but it was a cool project and I really like the little taco guys. See where my sewing went wrong over here. So I did a really ugly job, but it'll hold my phone, it'll hold some snacks. Got a little front pocket here. Adjustable belt buckle, on and off. It'll work. It's Dyneema, pretty cool. Using my extra Direct Alpha to make a little beanie. Had some Alpha Direct left over, so I made a hat too. Took like half an hour. Not sure about the ear flaps though. That was my own choice, and I think that might have been a bad choice. Let's see, the Direct Alpha. 4.5 ounces. The whole thing, yeah. 4.7 ounces. The fanny pack. 2.2 ounces. So I am applying seam seal to the 3FUL Lanshin Pro 1. That's a mouthful. What you gotta do is seal up all of these stitches. Because the material is waterproof, but obviously where it gets stitched, that's punching holes in the material. And finally I made some Dyneema food bags and dry bags, and this is really worthwhile because they're super easy to make and they'll cost you like a third of what these retail for, which they retail for like $50 to $80 per bag. Here's one Dyneema food bag, and I sewed a little pocket in here to keep my spoon because I always lose my spoon. But it's fat and wide, roll top. I just think the custom printed ones are so cool, and it adds some nice color to what otherwise is a pretty boring material of Dyneema. So it was about 2 full days making this, but I learned a lot and saved a lot of money. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for the AT trail vlogs. I'm going to be hiking the trail on a $1,000 budget, so it should be really fun and interesting, and we'll see how that goes on such a low budget.